I used to dream of the day that you would apologize. I imagined it in vivid detail. The words, your face, the tension between us dissolve. I imagined that day would heal something inside of me. I imagined I needed it in order to move forward with my life. But in fact, that day never came, and maybe it never will. There was no final word, no text, no second when it all made sense, just silence. And sometimes silence is louder than screaming. I used to replay everything in my mind, the fights, the misunderstandings, the things I said to defend myself, the unspoken things. I kept recasting the past as if I could cut and paste it into something fair. I figured if I could go to the right version of the story, then it would hurt less. There's a melancholy sort of sting in requiring an apology. It's not just about hearing the words, "I'm sorry." It's about wanting someone to look and see what they've done, to see that it mattered, to see how deeply it changed you. You find you want validation over forgiveness, affirmation over closure. I lied to myself and told myself I was fine, that I didn't tear, that I was finished with it. But I wasn't. Not that much. I just got good at hiding it. Sometimes, when I caught your name somewhere, in a photo, in a text from years past, I'd feel the same old pang, like a bruise that will never heal. And every time I thought, maybe they'll call, maybe they finally get it. But nothing. Only more silence. There's part of me that still needs to believe people get what they've done, that one day something reminds them and they whisper, "I wish I could apologize." But maybe some people never do. Maybe they don't care that they have to. And maybe the apology I've waited for was never truly for them to provide. I started thinking, what if I forgave myself? What if the one who needs to apologize is me for keeping quiet when I should have been loud? For smallening myself to keep the peace, for blaming myself for someone else's fault, for letting that hurt linger inside me for so long. It felt strange at first, unfair too. Why do I need to apologize? Why do I need to do what they refuse to? But the more I sat with the idea, the clearer I realized peace was never going to be provided by them. It had to start with me. Healing wasn't immediate. It happened in gentle, hardly noticeable ways. In moments when I did not flinch from your memory. In moments when I could talk about it without shaking. In those moments when I no longer needed to be right. It was in the act of forgiving the version of me that lingered too long. The version that thought love was meant to hurt. There are nights that I still feel it. That tiny pain of what might have been. That unfinished sentence. That hollow place where closure should reside. But rather than piling it with bitterness, I attempt to fill it with comprehension. Not of you, but of me. I see now that sometimes people can't offer what they lack. They can't offer honesty when they've never had to face their own. They can't apologize when they keep thinking they were right. I used to think that forgiveness was releasing another human being, but it's really about giving myself liberty. It's about choosing not to carry what was never mine to carry. It's about leaving the past in the past and leaving myself in the present. I don't need an apology to make my pain right. I don't need a confession to make my reality real. I was there. I know what transpired. That's enough. Sometimes I still need you to say it. Just once. I'm sorry. But now, not so I can use it, it's so I think I deserve to hear it, even if it's just for me. And that's it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything that I did to keep someone who didn't remain. I'm sorry for every moment when I thought it was my fault. I'm sorry for losing myself in the process of trying to be enough. And sorry that I waited so long to say these words aloud. The apology that I'll never receive once felt like an empty space. Now it feels like a closed book, one that made me but does not make me. Perhaps healing isn't about getting answers. Perhaps it is about learning to live without them and still choosing peace anyway. I used to crave your words. Now I crave my freedom. I used to want you to look at me. Now I see me clearly, kindly, intact. I used to think closure was in endings, but perhaps it is in understanding why things could not be otherwise. And perhaps that is sufficient. If you're still waiting for an apology, maybe this is it. The one you give yourself. The one that finally lets you sleep. Because sometimes peace doesn't come in the way of hearing "I'm sorry." It comes on the realization you don't have to hear it in order to move on.